we've got agreement on who is operating. So thank you very much for allowing us to see. I did share a little bit last year, but this time I brought my co-pilot with me. So it's very important that my co-pilot is Reverend Chris Nkomo. We are now a link to the heap. So with this project, so it's really, really wonderful to have him here. And I must say thank you to our grant holders that's paying for our trip to Rhodes. It's really a privilege to be here. So I'm going to extend a little bit of our presentation from last year, and our colleague Hannes Engelbrecht is not here. So we just want to acknowledge also his involvement. So I'll just share a little bit about the outline of the presentation, what we will discuss. So we will share a little bit what is the Mamelodi, the Historical Society of Mamelodi, what is the plan, what did we do, how we became co-pilots. So that's very important to share that. And then we will share a little bit about the engaged project with the Historical Society of Mamelodi, the History Department, and then also Mamelodi College. And then we will reflect on our experiences so far. So we are learning in the process, and I hope you will see it like that, that it's not the end of the road, it's the beginning of the road that we are doing. And then, of course, the outputs that we can deliver so far, that we can at least have something to showcase. So the whole project happens in Mamelodi, and Mamelodi is a township east of Pretoria, and that's where my co-pilot lives, and I work. So if there is the campus at the Mamelodi, inside Mamelodi, the University of Pretoria Mamelodi campus, it sees itself as an institution. I think it still needs to go a lot. They're rethinking Mamelodi at this stage to see how they can really become a social innovation hub. But at this stage, there is, for instance, a business hub at the Mamelodi campus, a Siatemba clinic for occupational therapists, an animal health clinic for the vets, and then there are a number of students working on the campus or in the community, and then we have a number of international partners that's involved, and the projects that I mainly do with them is e-service learning projects. So there are a number of things happening, and that is all done with the collaboration of the local community, the local department, the Gauteng Education Department, and NGOs, and now we've got a nice, very challenging group of artists also involved in projects. So we are enthusiastic about that new project. So Ray, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Martina. I'm Reverend Chris. I did it intentionally to be called Reverend Chris because people of color usually call me by name. So we just speak and just in case I put the title, the Reverend part. But I'm a retired pastor, retired or not tired. Still there. So the Historical Society came from an idea that a people who do not know their past history are like a car with no engine. So then it also came from my own experience when I was in the course at the Pretoria University. There's Siona O'Connor who was presenting a film lab on this forced removals. Forced removals on the forced removals. After presenting, then they asked for comments and questions. I said I empathize with them because the apartheid government in 1950, they started with the Group Areas Act, where they declared some areas black spots. The black in Pretoria in particular, Eastwood, where I stayed, where I grew up, was declared a black area. Selbourne was declared a black area. And all the people from those two areas were moved to either Mamelodi or Attersville. Those who wanted bigger places were sent to Parangua. which had a title, sort of a freehold title like what they had there. Then in the movie, a lot of things happened, and that's where the woundedness and the brokenness of the community of Mamelodi came about. Because after talking about the forced removals, to Susan O'Connor, I felt so big. I cried like a baby. Tears, and the lecturer came and said, so what's happening? But that's when I saw that the removals had something in me that made me a broken person. And then I thought, this is maybe a societal thing. Maybe this society is also broken like a thing. Then we started doing historical with the civic association, that is Sanko for the politically correct. Then Sanko, we had a massacre in 1985, 21 November, in Mamelodi, where 30 people were killed, especially elderly and women, and one 3-month-old baby had tear gas inhalation and she died. So I went to those people, recording their stories. And after telling their stories, there was healing. It's more like lying on the psychologist's brain, telling all the stories because it's reflection as well as recalling what happened there. So that's what we did. Now we said, no, we must formalize this thing. With Sanko, I had Mamelodi Heritage Forum. And then with this one, it was Mamelodi Historical Society. We had 2 journalists, one photojournalist and one news journalist, a retired principal, a retired pastor, and a prophet pastor. That's the core of the committee. And of course, with the academia, we were the community, and Martina represented the not academia, we the community. Martina represented the academia. So we needed something that we can name. This is Historical Society, but all the stories that are told, we need to have facts. People must not just talk from and be economical with the truth, but they must talk and have we check the truthfulness of what they're saying. So that's how we started this historical society. Now, with me being an old man, I said, I'm going to write all the way. Pen and paper and a tape recorder. The tape recorder, the one who said, yeah, that's what I was trying to do. And then she came out, no, let us do it digitally. She was modern. So that's how it's been. After that, we're recording the history of the township digitally. It's a collaboration between the Historical Society and the University of Pretoria. Right. And in 1950, as I said, the group Erasnet was connected. And then in 1953, the government decided to move those people. But the proof that they can do it, they started with Sopan Town. They moved Sopan Town to Midlands, and they saw that was in 1952 years after apartheid came into being. So 2 years later, and then in 1953, they started doing it nationally. District 6 is part of them. In Durban, there's Affield, and all over the country were moving. Even from farms, farms were taken forcefully. A lot of things happened. Now, don't let me just go. We were taken to Mamelodi, and now some people, those guys were ruthless. Let me tell you this. They would come unannounced, come to a yard. It was the main house and tenants, and they would target that yard for the day. Came with the breaker, ball breaker, caterpillar and a van to transport us. And remember, some of the husbands were away. So it's the wife and the children staying there, they're taking them. Then they ask you, you still worried about your accommodation and you worried about what happened to the husband. Then they ask you, where do you want to go, Mamelodi or ArcGIS? Then you decide that that's the wife who will stay with the children. You say Mamelodi, then when the husband comes, he doesn't know where the family is. Some got mad. The cases where people were going to the wrecks because it took a long time before they built. It goes to the wreck and look around, looking for the family. Because communication then was not this easy, it was difficult. Moving around was also difficult. So that's what happened. And now we move to Mamelodi. Mamelodi was called Vlakfontein initially, Vlakfontein. You know, people who, when they get to a place and they see people smoking tobacco in a crowd, they say Stahaka. And they see elephants moving around and they call it Olifantsfontein. They see Elandsfontein, and they see Chris moving around, they say Chrisfontein. That's what they do. That's how they call them place. So Mamelodi was Vlakfontein. But Vlakfontein was a big farm. So it included Easterets and it included part of Kalinen. So they decided now to call it Mamelodi, from Vlakfontein to Mamelodi. Then this movement from Vlakfontein, then you get the narrative now, they say, it's named after Paul Kruger because Paul Kruger could whistle like a bird, he could imitate bird. And we come to realize Paul Kruger died in 1904. When Paul died in 1904. So then these people, how could they name a place of a person who died very long ago? And he didn't know how he could whistle. But that's a narrative that they have. The other narrative of the name is this, what you call this? There were people with the same name, Mamelodi. And those people are predominantly Tshwane. That's another narrative. The other one is the one I know, which can be true, but it's a narrative. We're still checking with academia. Is that it's a place, it's mother of whistles, or mother of melodies. So the melodies are the whistling by. Remember, initially we did not want to. The men did not want to. So the police would force them to go back. So there were raids every morning. Now it was a regular race. Every morning they would pick up, but the women were left behind. So the women would go to, the woman would stay in the house, and then the men would climb up the mountain. There is a mountain there, there's Mahalisberg, Kabazamkhane, and then they would stay there. And then after staying there, then that's where, when the cops have raided and they're gone, then they will start whistling. Each one had a whistle for so that's where I think the name Mamelodi came from. But in other words, it's a lot of jazz, people like jazz, Pretoria area like jazz, whether African jazz or American jazz, but they can to jazz.
That must stop the reference. So what we did, we planned to capture the stories digitally because now people are getting old like Reverend and we are worried that the stories will get lost. So we are not very intellectual with capturing, we're going to write a book, all this wonderful, we wanted just to start capturing the stories. And we had actually 4 partners. So it was the Historical Society we have, because we're still busy, the History Department, and then we also now have Mary College on board. So the first and second years, I did discuss that last year a little bit. We got the Tavoy Network grant. So we and I are very transparent. We explain what we're going to do. We write the budget. We write out the proposal, and we got the grant for the Engaged Scholarship award, and that was excellent because we got a little bit of money to buy a camera, and we could do things that we couldn't do otherwise. So that was really excellent. And thanks to Rhodes, we attended a WeVideo course, and then we started teaching people to use the WeVideo software. The need out of that was that people actually asked for desktop research. And then we realized that the community that's coming to the training are not the target group that we really wanted, because they are afraid to come and work on the computers. So we went now to the community itself and start interviewing individuals. And Reverend Chris will share a little bit about how impactful that was, that we gave people the opportunity to talk. And I always said, I went to the houses, this Afrikaans white girl is sitting now on the floor, listening to the stories. And we had one lady that got so furious, and the more she got upset, the more she spoke in Afrikaans. And it was really interesting for us. It's really interesting because we're still busy with that. And then the history students, the BA honors students, they got involved, and for every year we are doing that. We got a second Township Network grant, and then we started now training the high school kids. So that made more sense for us. The kids are very fast, they learn very fast, and they could start capturing the stories of their parents. And then we also now got a master student from Maryland that is very good on storytelling to help us. And the great thing is the story map, our big story map that we use, that we thought, oh, it's so difficult, only the students will be able to use it. We, the Historical Society guys are not doing themselves. This is the maps. So what did we really needed? We need the computer labs. There's computer labs at the Mamelodi campus, standing empty, not being used always. Second of all, we could, with the grant, we get the license for the WeVideo and the story map. The university had the license. And then we have this wonderful WhatsApp group that we have, and we can actually communicate with everyone. So, Reverend Chris, if you pass, because you've got 3 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes.
The collaboration between Historical Society and the University of Pretoria helped us, because especially me, my first exam I wrote with pen and paper and casting. The second one I had a very wonderful PowerPoint, and then the prof said, how did you get that one? Because it was an interactive PowerPoint. I could stand there and pose and I'd talk. It went like that with all the points. And there's some music from our video training. It was wonderful. Even in the communities, there's a teacher who's also now learning the story maps. Because story map is just a map, an area where something happened, and then show it next week, and a picture, maybe some photos with the event that happened. Some wonderful, some tragic.
From going on to the next story. And then the students get it back. Oh, can't see. So the students, okay, I've got the number 3 glasses on. Is on the table. So the students also reflected the value to be involved with a community partner. So I'm going to quickly reflect on the community. So it created a lot of new opportunities for the community. They were involved in academic environment. We are now doing our third presentation. We had the webinar together. So there's things happening. The research paper is coming out. Then they developed a lot of skills, and then new projects developed. We started actually with this one little project. We're going to now record stories, and we are now on 2 story maps. The same with me, there's community development. I see a lot of personal development from the people. People actually in Mamelodi don't know their history. And that was really great that there was now technical skills developed, knowledge about the communities, the history of the Mamelodi, groupings coming in. Like I said, the artist is now passionate about what they want to do. And then the Historical Society was very important for me. I'm the white lady going in the township, so this is why we are linked to the hip, because he's my champion in the community. He is my person, but we are a whole team. There's Gilbert. And like I said, what was so amazing is that one project was developed into another one, and we saw another need. So at this stage, we have now the YouTube channel. There's really bad videos, but we decided that's important. There's the website, there's the LinkedIn page, there's the story maps, and then voila, here we are at the conference. And thank you for listening to us.